Yeah, just get your kind of reaction this morning. Obviously, overnight the death of Roy. Did you ever get to meet him or kind of?
I didn't know, but I am aware of his contribution to the club. First of all, I'd like to pass my condolences, from the players and the staff here to his immediate family. And the word legends is a sort of word that's bandied about quite often, but I think it's very fitting for Roy. I mean, if you look at his career here and his contribution to the club, it was huge.
Looking ahead to the game, obviously, what's been the message this week? Just kind of carrying on what happened on Tuesday night and that level of performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult thing to do though. We've had very little time, or we will have very little time to recover. But the intensity level was very good, very high. Whether I can get them back up to those moments again, I don't know. We'll see. That's what we're hoping to. It's a derby, so I think there's enough motivation there for them to play in. And the other reason is if we win, which is a big if still, it gets us out of the bottom three for the first time in a while at that moment. So that's very important. Do
you get kind of time to work with the players because of the quick turnaround?
No, it's impossible. If we did, the game is only on Tuesday night. Some of them players have run 12, 13 kilometres. There's in those runs there's a lot of high intensity running. They need recovery, otherwise we're opening them up to injury and stuff like that.
You're obviously a man who knows about a derby game. What have you been told about Wigan against Bolton? Is it something that you've kind of been told about the club? Have people said to you what it means to Bolton?
Not really, no. But I'm aware of. I'm not. I know the area. I know what it's only. I mean, it was at Wigan on Saturday. It's only 7-8 miles across the way. Friday night under the lights. It should add a bit more to the atmosphere. I do know a bit about derbies in the time, so I know what's at stake. But I'm only focusing on what we need to do and try and stay in this, little bit of form that we found.
Wigan themselves seem to be kind of on a bit of a slump at the moment compared to yourselves. What have you made of them over recent weeks?
Well, I watched them against Fulham. I thought they were unfortunate not to win. They scored 3 goals at home. You'd expect them in the game. So I don't know what the problem is because they've certainly got the quality, and they've got a very good manager in Uwe whose record speaks for itself really. So what we even want to do is give them a springboard to get going again, and it's important that we maximise our home form and play with the same flow and freedom that we played on Tuesday night.
Do you know Uwe personally? Have you met him kind of on the pitch? Or?
No, I took Celtic down to Brentford about 18 months ago. And had a bit of a chat with him afterwards. Very impressed with him, and it didn't surprise me to see him, move up the a great club like Wigan. And
kind of additions to the squad. I know you've kind of been probing and said there's possibly ins and outs. Are you any closer to bringing anyone in, or? Not
at the minute, no. And like I said, I was happy to work with the squad. At any time, you're always looking to improve it if you can. But it's the availability is sparse at this time of the year, and we're maybe building towards January. But if something crops up, we'll certainly look at it. But no, nothing to report on that.
How would you sort of maintain that sort of consistency with the players? I know you said that was probably the best performance and what you would expect of your players on Tuesday. Is it a case of just sort of reaffirming that message to them for the game against Wigan?
Well, I think the players will have a belief about them themselves now. I might not need to do too much with them in terms of the motivation, because they've seen what they can do now. They're playing well. They're playing with great energy. I need to find a consistency of performance though, because we've gone win, loss, win, loss, win. I want us to start putting a few more W's in the bracket at the end. So they should be confident, not overconfident, but confident that they can supply a performance of that level against Cardiff, who were a Premier League team last season.
Yeah, obviously your short-term goals are getting out of the bottom 3. Do you see that sort of coming quite close at the moment, do you think?
No, it all depends on. You can ask me that on Friday. I don't want to go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it's just the nature of this division. It's a monster. I think it's the most unpredictable league in Europe. If you're a betting man, you'd be poor by now. With the results that going on in the Championship, so you can never read it. And we just have to try and maintain a level of calmness about the players going into this game on Friday night.
I guess you've got a decision to make right back, given how well Josh played, because I know you said that probably his attacking quality is why you picked him on Tuesday, but the thing with Wigan is they do have a lot of strength out wide with McManaman and McLean, people like that.
Yeah, Josh did great. Really pleased him. I've got a decision to make on every position that I pick, really, but it's good to have competition. It's nice to see one of the young boys coming through and performing well and looking comfortable at that level. And yeah, they do have good wide players. McManaman, I'm a huge fan of. I think he's a terrific player, so he is a danger and one we'll have to keep an eye on. In
terms of derby games, we saw at the Manchester derby how a game can swing on a red card. Have you said sort of how important it is to keep your head in that situation?
Not even touched on that. I made it clear to the players about on-field discipline the moment I walked in the door. So I'm pretty big on that. So I'm expecting the players to adhere to that. You
said on Tuesday that it was just a case of putting a bit of motivation into the players for this derby game. Do you go on your own experiences of the Old Firm game? I know you said it's very different. It is very different,
but the premise is the same. So we'll maybe pass on a little bit of that. I don't know how many of the players have played in this type of game before. I'm sure the majority of them have, so they'll know what to expect. I mean, I've got players who are pretty experienced at this level. But it's a game they should be looking forward to, and really looking forward to, especially having played so well on Tuesday. They should be looking forward to getting back out there and trying to repeat that. And like I said, Friday night under the lights against local rivals, should be a really good crowd in there. It's why they're here. It's what they want to play for.
I know you spoke just there about incomings, but in terms of sort of players that you might want to keep beyond this season, you've got the international period. Is that something that you sort of sit down and think about?
Well, we're already thinking about it, in terms of myself and my backroom team, about the quality in the squad and who we like to stay on. Obviously, we speak to Phil about it as well. So yeah, I mean, that's always an ongoing process as well.